Ready for the mosh pit, shaka bra.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to StrangeCast, Play One vs. Was Life is Strange Fan Podcast, episode 120, Side B. I am one of your co-hosts, Adnan and Riaz. My co-host, Adam Evalt, is here. Adam, you here?
I'm cool, calm, and collected after Side A. I am even keeled. Call me Michelle Coe, because you know what? Michelle Coe would look like Cold Stone Steve of Austin compared to my temperament right now, because it's cool. I'm cool. Cool.
You're cool. You're cool.
Yeah.
I think the last positive podcast we did was
Yes.
the review for Lost Records, tape 1 and 2, and the announcement of that game, which tells you how many times we've had a positive podcast compared to the negative. And it's not even out of choice that we're trying to like self-deprecate.
No.
I think the audience is coming over here and also like living in the misery of things, because it's like you can't really escape the world of like how it's just constantly just like
It's
literally
not-
last episode was AI.
For me, even, it's like Square Enix, which I used to like really respect, and then it's also Xbox, and not just Xbox, but Halo Studios. And it's just like everything that hits me to the heart is like really just like, we hate ourselves. How about we chop our limbs off? It's like great.
Of course.
That's awesome. So here we are again.
Oh, yeah, here we are. So we're going to continue the topic on from what we did last time. It's a lot more Life is Strange centric with Square Enix influence and whatnot. So before we start, if you are new here, please do consider dropping subscribe to the channel, turn notifications, like the video, and share with your friends. You don't have to like hate the things that are going on, but you can like the video though, at least. It helps for us. And StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. So available on Spotify with the video version, Apple Podcasts. We've got 340 followers on Spotify, we've got 50 ratings. If you can boost our visibility by rating us and following us, you get instant access to your episodes as soon as they become available as well. And also we're on Patreon, so you can support us on Patreon. We're also on social media, so you can follow us for all the little bit of content and whatnot. So we're back, as we said. Side A is available. That was a lot of Square Enix / a lot of general talk in between things. It's kind of hard to talk about Life is Strange in between all that, because there's a lot of stuff going on there. This is more Life is Strange focused with Square Enix as well. I think there was Life is Strange conversation the other one, but like, you know, more focused. But Adam, should we kick things off with Square Enix piece to start with, at least? Kind of impacts Life is Strange as well.
Absolutely.
That's how we get the tone back on track. We're making it positive, aren't we?
Because I'm cool, calm, and collected, mind you. Cool, calm, and collected.
Just about.
Yeah.
Just about. It depends on the day and the week. But as you can see here, Adam, as well, first piece of news, I saw this reposted by a couple of people from the Square Enix people who are being put on voluntary, well, potentially facing redundancy, and some who have been redundant. As you can see, it's Graeme Monk, executive producer at Square Enix. He's put, I've completed my journey with Square Enix after 5 years as the studio closes its doors. Shifting development focus to Japan. Now I'm eager to embark on a new adventure, leveraging my extensive experience in game development. If you're intrigued, please feel free to get in touch, which is a post on LinkedIn there, which is kind of like an outright affirmation that the studio is going to close down Square Enix London, by sound of things. Yeah.
Well, I'm back on my train here. What a dumb fucking move, dude. You got to blurt that. But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. You want to be a global market, like, we want to reach the globe. And then you decide to close your UK studio where you have a lot of different bases. In fact, we know for a fact that UK London had a lot to do with the development of Double Exposure, right? And it's just like, we know, because like even just with the True Colors article, which take it with a grain of salt, but we've heard that UK London would bully a lot of the developers over there. So UK London, what's that? Allegedly. So UK London had the UK studio has a lot to do with your global market in terms of Square Enix. So now we're just focusing on Japan. Fine. I'm not against that, but now you're closing jobs. But you still, the problem with Square Enix is that like they want to have their cake and eat it too. They're not just downgrading for the sake of downgrading, but they're just like they're downgrading, but still want to reach a global market. How does that work? You know,
No, it won't work.
like how like that would be like me, like saying like I'm gonna take all of my music off of Spotify and Apple Music. I'm gonna take it all off and only play at local shows. But I want California to know who I am.
Yeah.
Like What you can't have everything, dude.
No, it won't work because, for example, like Sega with the breakthrough they had with Like a Dragon as well, it has North America and Europe divisions. Like it has to have its Western arm to support that. When it eventually broke through with that brand of Yakuza and Like a Dragon, it needed those divisions. Like they can't manage IP from Japan to get
No.
audiences. We'll come on to the topic later of what happens with next with Life is Strange and stuff. But this kind of news is just again like systematic of like where Square Enix London is going. The amount of people they're laying off in London is kind of obviously that they are going to close that branch. It's like it's heading towards that direction. And it's the same with like the North American one as well. Like if they only have those IPs that we talked about last time, Outriders, Just Cause, Life is Strange, Power Wash Simulator, that's not enough to run the show. They've sold everything else off. There's not enough IPs being
That's the
managed
thing.
there.
They're only focused on Power Wash Simulator. They have all these IPs, not all these, but like they have a significant way to get Outriders and Just Cause at least to be a live service.
Cost money.
if you, well, that's what I mean though. It's like you could get a flow of money from Outriders alone if you just take the time to market it, right? If you just take the time to put it on a 7-Eleven Slurpee cup for God's sake, you know? But instead, what they're doing is like, well, we don't know what we do. Close UK. Okay, cool, great.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just all of this is just like so backwards to me. And it's just like, I am one to fight for downgrading in terms of capitalism. Like we've gotten too far, we've gotten too big. Again, my biggest issue is that like Square Enix is closing these studios, but still wants to be a juggernaut. Right? That you don't downgrade and be a juggernaut. You have to downgrade and then like refocus on a new path. But instead, you're just doing things and then don't know what to do next.
Yeah.
You know, it's oh my god, it's so dumb.
It's Square Enix is a very weird place because like even if you look at their stock as well, I think we talked about this last time. It's not indicative of a company that's in massively financially healthy state. Like it's just not that. You look at it, there's that kind of like that I can't remember what the story was, where it's like that division which kind of like that pressure group kind of like helped influence the stock thing off the top of my head, where it's like there was a circumstantial fact that's made its stock price go up, but it's not indicative of it. Because like for example, you only have to look at again another example where you look at Meta 3 years ago was at $88. It's actually ridiculous when you look at the stock. It's now trading at almost 700, 600. But it was because the market changed its tune. And it was like, hang on a minute, if you look at the fundamentals of the company, it's unbelievable. It's like $88 is a steal. And it's like you look at, for example, Square Enix, it's not indicative of that stock value. You're thinking like, hang on a minute, like this company's in some really awkward positions and shapes, and the marketing costs are through the roof, and like, you know, they're losing money on this part and this part's happening. Double Exposure was a commercial flop. You know, the president even said that as well in one of the notes as well in the earnings report. And it's like, you know, you basically kind of like sat there with this situation where they're going to close down the UK studio because they can't manage the money. The only way they're going to make those games bigger is if they put more money in them and invest in them, but they don't want to because it's too risky. Because if the games don't sell, then they've basically put all the money towards making newer versions of those franchises, and they're not willing to do that, which is then also to your detriment because you can't do that. You know, you're not Coca-Cola with Life is Strange. You have to build Coca-Cola first, then you start putting money towards marketing. And with the marketing as well, you actually had really talented people. Lucy Hale's a very talented person. Izzy's very, very talented in terms of doing the, you know, on the PR side of things. And the same with the other people there. That, you know, they cared about that brand and everything else with it. They're foot soldiers in this war as it is. But it's just sad though. It's really sad. I think like in itself, Adam, we were just talking about this before podcast because you said potentially like, you know, put it into side A as a splice, but I'll just bring it up on the screen because I found it on Twitter as well. So Rhianne Murphy, who we talked about in the previous episode, put on Twitter here as well. She put, unfortunately, found out that I'm impacted by the latest Square Enix layoffs whilst I'm on honeymoon. Gotta be honest, folks, I don't know what to do right now. So I'm just thinking, so I'm just going to think about things for the foreseeable. Square Enix was my dream. Now I'm shattered.
On her honeymoon, dude.
Yeah.
On her honeymoon. Like, again, it's the heartlessness out of these layoffs that are just like brutal, dude. Like,
yeah.
Again, I was a part of a pretty heartless layoff before. I was, man, like layoffs are never good, but there's like you can give some class to it, right? Like I still remember that like when I was laid off from a restaurant that they said like, hey, we're running out of money. They gathered everybody in. They said, "Hey, come in. Like, we're going to gather up." The owner of that restaurant, the owner, not through an email, he drove down and gave us the news to our faces.
Yeah.
Right, saying like we're closing down. He bought us all beers. Right, like he said, like go to the bar, like and I still remember he said that like you can have this week paid to help us close down the restaurant.
Yeah.
And then he even gave us access to the liquor cabinet, like take some whiskey. A layoff is never good, but there was like some humanity. Just saying, like, I'm sorry, we're doing this. Liquor. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. But then there's things like when I got laid off a week before Christmas, Rhianne getting laid off from her honeymoon, Becker getting laid off during his parental leave. There's no humanity.
No.
There's none. And it's just like all these people are just numbers to them.
This is
And-
literally the state of this was satirical many years ago. This is literally where we're at with layoffs. If you remember correctly.
Yes.
This is the clip from The Simpsons where Kirk Van Houten is laid off from his cracker factory where he's working, and he says, "Kirk, crackers are a family food, happy families. Maybe single people eat crackers. We don't know. Frankly, we don't want to know. It's a market we can do without. So so that's it. After 20 years, so long. Good luck." I don't recall saying good luck.
That's what I said in the first one in side A, where I'm like, layoffs aren't new, but it's the amount that's happening. That it's just ridiculous. This is happening to like 50,000 people, right? I might be like fudging the numbers on that, but I think we're getting close to like just this year alone in layoffs. We're probably getting close to 50,000, maybe even 70,000 layoffs just this year alone from the entirety of the games industry. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think we're getting close, right? And it's like stuff like that, where they're just like, we don't want to know.
Like even with that piece of the news as well, like and even with Rhiannon, even that Simpsons thing, that wasn't me like ha 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 in between. That's meant to be satire. It's actually a reality of where things are at right now. Like you've seen people who are at Square Enix who are 5+ years in their tenure and they're getting laid off in really absurd circumstances.
We're beyond satire.
Yeah, of course we are.
We are beyond parody at this point.
And I actually admit this to you recently as well, because I said to you, I don't really enjoy South Park anymore, the more recent season, because I said, like, it's very hard for two people to make the world satirical when it's already satirical, and they were the first to admit it, and for them to keep making content.
Like, it's become less of, like, punching up than it has become a protest.
Yeah.
Like, South Park is now, like, the leader of a protest, the leader of a revolution, rather than punching up, Like, South Park has been around since George Bush, has been through Obama, has been through Trump's first presidency, Biden. But like this one, it feels more of like a protest rather than a punching up. And I think that's where we are. We're like, how do you satire something that's we're living in satire?
Yeah.
Like it's insane. Yeah.
Well, it's the same with that London studio being closed down. That has a massive impact on Life is Strange, as we'll come into the later part of the topic. And it's just, again, systemic of what the issues in this entire thing. Maybe it's worth bleeding into our next topic, because I imagine the last topic will be quite a bit for us to talk about as well. I'm not going to go into full things, but this is for your own interest if you do want to read through it, because I would suggest you to read through it if you get the chance. So this is from Jacob Navok, who was the director of business at Square Enix Holdings. So he previously worked there. And I thought it was quite interesting to go through this as well. So he's literally broken down the full report of like all the key details, some really interesting bits as well, of like how Square Enix works. I did find this was interesting because he did bring up the Life is Strange part, which I thought obviously relates to us as well. As you can see there on the screen, he's put in the section as well in Square Enix's report, they put diversity earning opportunities by strengthening customer contact points, active development of visual adaptation projects utilizing game IPs and publishing IP aimed at expanding the global fan base of company's IP. Obviously, you see Life is Strange is there in the corner. You also see that Demons of the Shadow Realm is there as well in the corner with the two that are examples projects. And Jacob as well here has put 2.media. The cross-media opportunities listed in the midterm updates seem half-hearted. Life is Strange IP is great, but small. Core to games marketing is consumer awareness of the brand. Square Enix is at its heart not a game company, but a company that tells great stories. Square Enix is similar to Disney's own philosophy in that way, yet does not act like Disney, embracing of media and renewal of interest in young persons. I define 6 to 26 years of age, none of whom have deep awareness of Square Enix IPs due to its lack of presence in traditional media or places like Roblox. Which means that the company is missing the audience that will primarily spenders in a few years. Already, the average age of Square Enix's younger audience increases year by year by getting younger, and there's a link there to Game and Braves for that as well. Which again ties into the point which you said about, for example, marketing, because you currently have you had Lucy Hale, and she's still there, but you saw Lucy Hale, who's very much trying to target a Gen Z audience with some of the TikToks and stuff that she's doing. And one of the things I remember as well is when Baku talked about Disney being a template for game development and like, how to build level designs and stuff like that. They said that Disney World was a perfect place to kind of follow. Disney, for all its faults and everything else, Disney is a cash cow generating machine because it understands to tap into brands, IP, everything else. Everyone knows who Mickey Mouse is. Everyone knows who all the characters are in the Disney world.
Well, Disney to movies is Nintendo to video games. Like they protect their IPs. They know where to put the IPs, and they're both juggernauts. They will never. I'm going to say this right now. Once Nintendo dies off as a company, that's the end of video games. I'm saying that right now. Same thing with Disney. If Disney ever dies off, so when I said when Nintendo dies off, once Nintendo, Disney, if Disney ever dies off, that's the end of entertainment. That's the end of entertainment, like altogether. They're juggernauts. So when they say Roblox and like the lack of traditional media and the lack of Roblox, I 100% agree with that, because at least with Fortnite, some companies are taking precedent. Like, how do we break through this audience? Put your IP into Fortnite. Right now, Fortnite's doing Simpsons, and we've seen a greater turnout. Like, I think it's a record because Alejandro recently put an Instagram story on it. But recently, there's I forget how the statistic reads it. Like, there's a greater ratio of people currently, like concurrent players, than ever before, like in the last 5 years, something like that. But like, what I'm trying to say is that there's a big impact with Simpsons being in Fortnite. Right. Right now, Power Rangers is a big thing, and Power Rangers were in Fortnite. Right. Power Rangers were just in Fortnite. Spider-Man was in Fortnite. Fallout. They had Fallout characters in Fortnite. We had Halo in Fortnite. Right. So like, at least companies are saying, like, how do we break through? Put our IPs in those games. If they're not going to watch traditional television, if they're not going to get Slurpers from 7-Eleven, we're going to put our IPs into Fortnite, right? Roblox, which is probably like the youngest demographic, as far as I know, because I've never played a minute of Fortnite or Roblox. I've played plenty of minutes of Fortnite. Have you played any Roblox, Adnan?
No, but I've seen my niece play it, and that's kind of indicative of where that is going.
But like, that's the thing, though. It's just like, there's nothing in Roblox. Roblox, it's like its own bubble that like nobody's trying to get out of. It's a huge bubble, right? So like that's a perfect place to put your IP. But instead, like, they're just stuck in this bubble and like not knowing like how to get out of it. At least. And I would love to see numbers of like people who put their IPs into Fortnite, and then like soon after, how many of their IPs like Google searches, right? Like, oh, I want Fallout. How do I play Fallout? I would love to know those numbers. Is there a correlation? And I know not always correlation causes causation, but I would love to see the correlation between an IP coming into Fortnite and a Google search for that IP.
Yeah, but you have to remember as well. Yeah, it'll be massive. The spike will be massive. I remember when it's funny because when Milk and Bone, they had one of their songs from their album, their Baby Dreamer EP feature on Love Island on the UK TV show, and they even noticed there was a spike. They said there was a massive spike that was noticed. It happens. It has like a knock-on effect. The thing is, with Roblox as well, Roblox is getting to the target demographic the same way Disney does. What does Disney do? It goes for the younger people. It has its millennials with the teen embodiment of Disney, but they also go for the young audience. They're targeting it. Same with WWE. That's why, again, the Vince McMahon thing was massive, because they were targeting young kids because they dragged their parents there. You target the younger kids first, you drag their parents there, spend. That's the kind of process with this. But ultimately, it's just, it's it's a bit of a situation where we're at with what they're doing. Like they just basically know, as he said as well in that post, storytelling is something great with Square Enix because they did that with Final Fantasy VII. They've done it with quite a few of their IPs. Ultimately, they don't know how to market things or keep things at a sustained level, and they've done it time and time again with the way that they put their IPs out. And it's just crazy as well. Is that one there? Yeah, look at that. There's that. So UGC
Ooh.
platform. The midterm strategy document says nothing about UGC, a complete blind spot. The growth of Roblox and Fortnite are astounding. Roblox is nearing 10 billion accounts, more accounts than humans on Earth. Many people own more than one, and it's instantly accessible on every device, everywhere. So many children from 6 to 16 are on the platform. Roblox is where they socialize and play and learn about new IP. The growth has sent the stock price to a market cap peak of 95 billion earlier this year, and is due to the virtuous cycle between UGC content being immediate, trendy, ease of access, simplicity of business model, and simplicity of play. UGC is an opportunity for Square Enix to bring in new forms of storytelling, setting up pieces for new generations of audiences to play with and learn more about Square Enix's world. You see nothing about it in the strategy deck. The opportunity is being ignored or not treated with seriousness. And Roblox enables stronger monetization opportunities for a game developer. Its technology and IP platform, like a PlayStation or Xbox. I'm not suggesting that Square Enix needs to make a Roblox game, but there are licensed IP program that Sega and Netflix have both success or sustained interest in. Oh, Adam,
Can you? Yes.
by the way, this reminds me. Do you remember that story that we covered where Square Enix characters were in Astro Ball? That we did in
Yes.
StrangeCast?
Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about that. That's the thing. They don't even want to put it in their own,
Yeah.
like their own buddy's game, dude.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like what that article, like what that thread, it puts in perspective, like why the reason, like I disagree with Spotify. I do not have a Spotify account. I have an iPod. Like I don't stream music, right?
Yeah.
I disagree with Spotify. My music is on Spotify, right? Like because I'm trying to gain a wider audience and because I'm trying to become a game composer, I am a game composer, but a bigger one. I want to be the Hans Zimmer of game composing. But like, point being, jokes aside, because I want to put my name more out there, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Apple Music. Like, I disagree with these programs, but that's the wider audience. That's where the audience is, right?
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, buy my music on Bandcamp. But like the second I say, they're like, "Ooh, I don't know about Bandcamp. Is it on Spotify?" They say it all the time. I'm like, "Yeah, it's on Spotify. It's on Spotify. I don't care." Point being is that, like, can you imagine if Just Cause had a Roblox game?
Yeah.
Just Cause in Roblox. Like the kids would go nuts for that, right?
Yeah.
Just exploding things, like putting cows to rocket ships, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like that, put Roblox and Just Cause together, right? Or even Outriders or something like that. That's the thing. It's like it's a massive audience. I can't remember a single Square Enix. Like Tomb Raider was in Fortnite. I don't
Well,
know.
even that wasn't Crystal Dynamics kind of like Tomb Raider thing. They were like, there's like,
Yes.
people know Tomb Raider for core design and stuff like that from the, the original inception of it. Like the reboot trilogy was okay, but it was never like, it never gripped people in the same way that the original core design Lara Croft did. That is like the iconic version of it. And even to say like the Angel of Darkness, like for example, Lara Croft is more iconic than the more recent iterations, but they don't tap into that. So it's the same with like Dead by Daylight. Look at Dead by Daylight's evolution where they brought in horror characters. They were like, yeah, all these studios are like watching it, movie studios, and like, yeah, why wouldn't we put, the screen and the ghost face in there? We can easily promote
But
that.
like
It's
that's
like
the thing.
easy.
Even if you say no, we're not going to do Roblox, I respect that. If I decide to take my music off of Spotify, that's my decision. It's a dumb decision, but that's my decision. My thing is just like, okay, if not Roblox, where else? Because I think Final Fantasy characters were in Fortnite. I don't know for a fact. I think they were. I don't believe they were. But the thing is, like, they didn't even put it in Fortnite, dude. They didn't even put it in Astrobots.
But they do weird crossovers though. Like funny when you mention it, I was
Yes.
speaking to Jace. I met Jace recently, and Jace was telling me that they were in Magic the Gathering. I'm like, what?
Yes.
I'm like, that's niche, man.
They have a Magic the Gathering. Yes, they do. Absolutely. And it's just like,
But it's
how many
niche
people are
though.
playing? I'm not trying to say, okay, I was about to say, like, how many people are playing Magic? There's plenty of people playing Magic. But the crossover, like the Venn diagram,
Yeah.
like, would you rather market yourself in Magic the Gathering or Fortnite or Astrobot? There's different things of collaboration that we're like not even touching, right?
Yeah.
Or even the Life is Strange, like, oh, we're marketing it to one ice cream store in Los Angeles for
Exactly.
a limited time.
Yeah.
What? Like one ice cream store? Why not Baskin Robbins? You know, why not like other places? Here's the thing. By the way, I'm rewatching Stranger Things.
Hmm.
So I just finished season 2. I put a little too much hate on that show.
Really?
I think I was in I think I was in a bad place in life when I first watched it. There's like one like episode arc where 11 goes to Chicago that I'm like, this was pointless, but for the most part I put a little too much hate. I'm becoming a serious fan, so sorry to Gen Z for stomping on your glory. But what I was gonna say with Stranger Things, look at what they're doing, dude.
Yeah.
Fortnite had Stranger Things.
Yeah.
You could have bought L. You bought L in Fortnite. Look at what they're doing in Target. Look at what they're doing with like 80s aesthetic. They are just putting it out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if Stranger Things was in Roblox, but it would not shock me if it was in Roblox ever.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is though, as well, one thing that happens when you cross things over into other mediums, you keep them relevant. So it's the same with like Life is Strange, Just Cause, stuff like that hasn't stayed relevant. It has to stay relevant in people's public conscience. That's like the most important part with like keeping brand IP and awareness for people. People tail off from it. So I think there's obviously people who are like, oh, didn't realize there's a new Life is Strange coming out. And, oh, I didn't know Lost Records was coming out and it's made from the Life is Strange craze. People tail off from fandoms. You have to kind of keep them hooked on and kind of like make them conscious about your drinks, you know, you being your products everywhere. So why like Coke is in everywhere, you know, it's in every billboard completely. Adam, I've got one thing here before we move on. If you're, no,
look at that. Look at that. Fortnite Stranger Things.
Yeah,
like they're in it. What's that? No. No. They could like this is in it now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I was I mean, I don't Fortnite's for babies. I don't play it. But like, yeah, I was playing Fortnite while I was playing as Ned Flanders wearing Vans sneakers. And I saw L. I'm like, look at that. Fortnite and Stranger Things. Whoop-de-doo. But yeah, no, it's just Square, dude.
Let me read this paragraph out for you.
Yeah.
Let me read this out because I will move on after this, but like it's from Jacob's friend, and I noticed it when I was going through it as well. So just bear with this. It's really interesting because it kind of hits on lots of the points that I was saying before as well. So he put, when Square Enix acquired Eidos in 2008, I have the quote-unquote tombstone, end quote, of the deal sitting in my office. That is the award the bankers gave when the acquisition is complete, a gift to me by Square Enix's former CEO, Yasuka Matsuwaza? It was because then CEO Yoshiwada foresaw changes in both consumer taste as well as technical prowess coming from Western studios. The era was roughly kicked off by the Xbox 360 around 2006 and troubled Japanese game development with a switch from SD content, low resolution, to HD content, higher resolution. This was exacerbated by the incredible complexity and poor sales of the PS3. You can see that trouble in games we produced during that period, and the long delays in Final Fantasy content. Final Fantasy 13 was originally announced as a trilogy of games, FF13, FF13 Versus, and FF13 Agito. Yet the development of FF13 was difficult as they transitioned from PS2 worlds to more open PS3 worlds, and was exacerbated by their Crystal tool engine, whose development largely limited FF13 to being a quote-unquote corridor simulator, end quote, with a small portion of the world being open. The delays in building this engine and its inability to scale to what other engines were achieving led Square Enix being the first Japanese publisher to be major user of Unreal. Meanwhile, Western developers were excelling at this new technology, and particularly at the new online modes that were coming out, Gears of War, Halo, Call of Duty, and other graphical / online powerhouse franchises dominated the sales charts. That is like one of the most incredible assessments you'll get of that period. That's indicative of Square Enix's approach and stuff. Square Enix has had that period of like that trough and trial and tribulation period. Reminds me of Capcom. Capcom's only found a steady footing in recent years with the Resident Evil remake strategy that it's been doing.
Yeah.
Well, like since then, remember that trough period of post 6, and then even like from 5, actually, I'd say like 5 that was started to lose its way with Resident Evil. They haven't made a Devil May Cry game since then properly. Like, you know, people are screaming for DMC. Is it DMC 6 that they're screaming for? Or is it DMC 5?
Yes. No, they made DMC. Man, I can't remember now. I haven't played DMC in a long time, dude. So I'm completely out of the loop on that
6.
one.
Yeah, it's 5. They made the
They
last
won
one in
6?
2019.
Yeah, I remember that. No, that's the thing, man. It's just I don't know what they're doing. Again, Square Enix wants their cake and eat it too. It's just
Yeah.
I don't understand what they're doing. Like that's the thing. It's like downsize all you want. Sure, downsize, but like you want to downsize but be the biggest corporation ever. I don't understand. I don't understand what they're doing. You know? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like that again. Like it's just like, oh yeah, I'll downsize to a 2005 Honda Accord, but I want to go race in NASCAR with my 2005 Honda Accord. Like, huh? Without putting in a new engine or anything. Just like a 2005 Honda Accord. Like I don't get it. 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 But I'm not a business guru. You know, I'm not Gary V. You know, what do I know?
Pretty much that.
Yeah.
I think we should just bleed into our next piece of topic because we've got a couple more to go before we need to.
Yeah.
As you can see that this is Katy Bentz, who appeared on Twitter. She responded to the layoffs that happened with Square Enix. She's put here, between Deck 9 and now Square Enix, we're watching so many incredible people I've had the honor of working with through my role as Steph in Life is Strange lose their roles. Has been deeply heartbreaking. Their talent and heart have always been at the core of what makes this community so special. She put multiple threads there as well. She put, I truly don't think this. I don't think this fandom understands the heart, soul, and effort so many people at Square Enix and Deck 9 have put into these games, and it's a true shame that the fandom won't have these people helping to continue to tell the stories. Tell these stories. Without them, we wouldn't have any of this. On a personal note, I've been saddened over the years to see the negatives steep out of this fandom. I just hope with this news, the fandom can be kind, caring, and compassionate. These are people compassionate. These are people with families, lives, and hearts. They don't deserve to be knocked down more. I'm still so deeply saddened about Webb and Corwin over at Deck 9. They're at the core of Life is Strange for me. Webb gave me the role of Steph, which I'm very, very grateful for. Corwin made me feel safest I've ever felt as an actor. Both are good friends. Show some love and compassion. And I think there's another one down here where someone says, well, it's a shame to watch so many decent companies, quote unquote, sell out to AI just to save themselves, which is essentially pocket change. Katie, I honestly think it's just an eye-catching headline. In part, it's probably true, but I know that jobs they let go that AI cannot replace. So I think it goes deeper than that, sadly.
It is like, I think that's the perfect way to put it. Like they sold out to AI. Like they sold out. And that's the thing, like how much money are you gonna make with just AI alone? You know, like I get it that like dude, I remember I worked at a bank, and I remember like during a big company meeting, he's just like saying like, yeah, you know, we're just like the CEO of this bank was just like, yeah, you know, like we're struggling, and you know the number one thing that banks have to put forward, and then somebody raised their hand like wages, and he goes like, yeah, as if like I have to feel bad, like you have to pay your workers. Oh no! It's just like
it's too hard. It's too hard because I love Katie. I adore Katie as well, and I think she's great as well. But I just feel conflicted with parts of that. It's like, yeah, AI can replace those jobs. They will keep doing that. They'll keep doing it because they companies don't care about the human element of people. They don't care about that. They care about maximizing the profits, efficiency, everything else. They don't care, for example, like this is an example, they don't care Lucy Hale making A1, which comes out of that mind. They care about a video being put out for the sake of it because they just care about making that kind of content because that's it.
I agree on let me get you on devil's advocate here. The sentence of I know jobs that were let go, AI 100% cannot replace. Right?
For now.
So like for now, sure. But if you're developing for AI, there are charts of like how much data can you put in versus how much are they learning, and there's a downward curve within these AI things that I can't explain it right because I'm not a mathematician, but basically they will put in information into these, and then they're saying like, oh, it's not learning anything, we'll scrap this, right? I don't believe AI will ever 100%. I don't think it will. I don't think so because like there's too much advancement that's happening and only humans can advance in terms of ideas. All AI is doing is just generating from ideas that were previously fed to it. It cannot generate new ideas. It can only generate from what it already knows. So if there's nothing to feed that AI, how is it going to give us new ideas? What I'm trying to say is that AI is a tool. 100%, it is a tool that can be used in the same way that the printed press was a tool. But when the printed press was invented, they say like, oh, we don't need writers anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, do we need this? The printed press is the thing. Out of the typewriter, we got computers. We have what's called keyboards. Like, do we need typists anymore? No, it's just a tool. Like 100% AI can like help QA, but it's not going to replace it. I think that AI and the printing press are the same thing, but we're not replacing writers. I don't get it, man. Like it will
I've
not 100%.
because this is how I might have to disagree because like they were on the they're not even on the infancy of how powerful it can be because like the Nvidia black chips the Nvidia chips that Nvidia could make are so ridiculous that when those chips get better they will get even
Right.
better with AI because for example Nvidia can't sell its chips in China because like the US is fearing of China getting hold of those chips because what it could do with AI. They have a blacklist on the world's biggest company at the minute which was valued at $5 trillion a couple of weeks ago, of selling its chips. And if you look at like Meta with its llama models, that AI is so sophisticated. Gemini is getting more powerful, and yeah,
Sure.
it needs ideas for now. But the thing is, though, what happens when you feed it enough that it can start generating its own ideas, which is what it can do. You can ask one of the tools to generate an image, and it generates it like that. That's scary because that was a human
Yeah.
instinct thing, and it's like
But
they
But like, here's the thing: it's like, sure, it can get an idea, but like, where does the money come from? And what I'm going to get at here is that like, if generative AI takes every single job that nobody has a job, so that generative AI can make a game so that people can buy, but nobody has a job because of the AI, where does the money that Square Enix gets? There is no
spend it.
economy. In the same way that Microsoft laid off I want to say half of King. Right, the same thing with Candy Crush, right? They laid off half of King, right, and replaced it with the AI that they developed, right? So if half of the corporation doesn't have money to buy more games, where does the money come from if AI is taking jobs? That's like, why are we doing this whole like back and forth? It's just like, yeah, we'll replace jobs with AI. Where money? Where does the money circulate? You know,
Well, there's other
I
jobs to circulate that money, though. You're not going to be able to
but
replace
then
them
those
all with AI.
jobs, but once again, those jobs getting taken. Journalism might be taken over by AI. Let's be real. Let's be 100% real. That AI could like AI
Yeah.
editors for journalism. So now editors don't have jobs. So now they're taking what I do in line cooking because now all these jobs have to be like, well, we have to do trade work, but there's not enough trade work because Trump is taking away the IRA, right? So he's taking away jobs from solar panels. He's taking away when there's zero jobs because of AI and because of woke media and DEI, like all these jobs go away. Where does money circulate? It doesn't go anywhere. There's no circulation because we have computers doing jobs and we have nobody doing solar power work. It's just, we're going to get
They,
fucked by this.
it'll carve over a certain part of industries, but there's other industries it can't replace. It'll cut down coding and tech and other places, but there's enough jobs where there's still like enough reason for people to do it, unless you start getting to the autonomous robot thing, but that's a different conversation itself,
That's
which
where we're heading, though.
yeah,
We're 100%
but that's an
heading
advancement
towards
in
that.
AI though. That's AI. You can't stop it from growing. The AI is too powerful. It grows, it devolves,
But
it can
then
think through things.
once it gets to that point, where money circulates, that's my question. It might circulate now because it can't replace jobs now, but what you're saying is that in the future,
Yeah.
and it takes half of people's jobs. Let's be realistic. that if it gets so advanced to the way that people think that it will get, and there's no government step in to say we have to regulate AI so that it doesn't take humanity's jobs, right? Once it gets at a point and 50% of people are unemployed, where does the money go to buying Square Enix games? Because nobody has a job.
Well, the
You
games
know what I mean?
industry will go for its own thing. But again, it goes back to that Roblox formula. That game is free for everyone
Yeah.
to buy and play it and stuff. They have a different model from it, and they can feed things through it. So it's like that's why,
It's free to play,
yeah.
but they make their money through microtransactions.
Yeah, but this is why these publishers have been trying to put adverts into their game, and it's been like flocked around by big publishers because they need to find other revenue models to sustain their games and bring the prices down and to make them more lucrative. But it's like they can't do that. They might all fall apart, but there'll be a new gig economy and other things that will emerge from it. But you can't stop it. So it's like with Kate,
Where are we?
I agree with what she's saying as well. But for Square Enix, they don't agree with that. They can see them cutting those jobs because it's like actually, you know what? If it has a one or two niggling issues, we'll hire one person in to oversee the AI and make sure they can tweak the other things, what you can do as
One,
well. Which is
yeah,
what you can do. Like if an AI, for example, can edit 5 videos that are 50 minutes each in 25 seconds, you could bring one person in to basically refine the tweak edits of it, and then that's it. Because that person could do all 5 videos in an hour because they've already quote unquote been edited. All you have to do is
yeah.
just tweak the extra details of it. So you can do that kind of thing. And then eventually it might even get to the point where AI just is able to do that. It might not be able to do everything, but it's too powerful for it. So it's like I agree with what she's saying as
But
well
that's the thing.
completely.
I think it's just gonna fuck us as human beings.
It
Like
wouldn't
it's the
surprise me.
same way that. Well, that's the thing. Like tech took over the warehouse. Took over
Yeah.
like blue collar work a lot, and so now people are out of work for blue collar, right?
Yeah.
So, but now AI is taking over tech. So if there's no blue collar work and there's no white collar work, where
Yeah.
do people work to make the money to buy the product that they're saying that like, oh, we're doing this so that we save money?
Yeah.
But money has to come somewhere. Like that's the thing. We need government regulation on AI, or else it will get too big and take away people's jobs rather than what AI should be, and it should be just a tool in the same way that printing press is a tool, the keyboard was a tool. It can be used as a tool,
Mm.
but if it takes jobs, there's no money to circulate, and we're screwed. Like I don't know. It's just I'm not saying I'm like I'm not saying I'm 100% against AI because I think AI is a good thing. But it's just we're screwing ourselves. We're screwing humanity. We're done. We're screwed.
Yeah.
And yet Republicans always want like we want more babies. If the next generation comes in and there's no jobs, what are you gonna do? It's God, dude. I
It,
can't.
it's very
I can't.
hard. It's very hard. It's
Yeah.
just because I'm looking at her thread and it's spot on with something, but it's like, for example, um, it's like you know that it's hard to say it because it's like it's not against the people at Square Enix. I highlighted, I couldn't see it. It's where's people, and it's a true shame that the fandom won't have these people to continue to tell the stories. It's like, unfortunately, it's not about the foot soldiers. The foot soldiers are different from the people that are doing it. Like when the
Mm.
publisher is demanding certain things, it circumvents that comment from happening because you can't expect people to buy something because they were part of the fandom from it. And you see it with publishers. Every franchise that does it. Epic Games did it with Gears of War Judgment. Call of Duty did it with Activision did it with Ghost, for example. Naughty Dog with Last of Us Part 2, you splinter fandoms, you create like division, you do choices which make people really critical and stuff with that. And it's the same with that situation where I agree with what she's saying, because like, for example, like that one thing I'll back up where she's put, I don't think the fandom understands the heart, soul, and effort so
No.
many people at Deck 9 and Square Enix put in this game. Like, I've always said that, which I've defended Deck 9 on a lot of things, but I've seen a lot of really talented developers there and the people who just don't talk because for whatever reason it is that, and it's like you can dispute so many claims that are randomly made online. So I'll completely back Katie on that comment. I think completely agree with it. But it's just the next part where it's like that part where it's like it's a true shame that the fandom won't let these people continue to tell the stories unless you means in a broader context. Completely agree where it's like people move on and have the opportunities. We don't sit here bashing down on John Stauder after he's left. We were critical of his role on Double Exposure and stuff afterwards, and I wish John Stauder nothing but the best of finding what his next future opportunity is.
Sure.
Man's got his own job. He's got a mortgage. He's got other things that he needs to do. Life moves on from that thing. But it's just like within Life is Strange's picture, I would agree with it, but in the sense that if the publisher is willing to let people do what they need to do, which is make games that really capture the fandom in the first place, which they haven't done. Like the franchise has been rotted a little bit, hasn't it? Since
Yeah.
Heat Waves.
And
Heat Waves was the last thing I really enjoyed from the franchise. No, heat
No,
waves.
no, 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 no.
Steph's story.
No, Steph story. No, you did not enjoy heat waves.
Yeah, Steph's story. Sorry.
But that's what I mean, dude. I think that because we have a lot of questions with AI, and the only answer we're getting is like, well, it's the future. That's the
Yeah.
only answer. We're not having any regulations. I think that I think with governments, and I'm not just talking about American government, I'm talking about world governments, like stepping in and saying that, like, hey, Square is saying 70% of your QA needs to be AI.
Yeah.
70%. There needs to be like some stand-in, like some negotiation of just like, hey, it cannot max out 30%. Like you can replace like 30% of your workforce, but at least like, hey, there's still
It's hard,
work
Adam.
for AI.
It's
Yeah.
hard. It's too hard because like it's like, for example, and I agree with what you're saying because like
Yeah.
regulation is needed, but you kind of need to nip it in the bud very quickly and put parameters in place. But the problem is like they always find another way around it. So it's like when the US has put
Sure.
bans on Nvidia's chip, Nvidia's like, we'll just develop this other chip, and it's like,
Well,
oh,
it's the
and then
same
the
with
US is
Reagan. It's the same with Reagan with drip economics, trickle down economics, right?
yeah,
In the same way as like, oh well, we'll just do trickle down economics and they'll pay employees. Well, they found a
yeah.
way around it. That's how billionaires exist because of Ronald Reagan. Rest in piss. But like that's the thing, It's like if we have this attitude of just saying like, well, it's too hard to regulate it. It's too hard to regulate it. Okay, it was too hard to get man on the moon, but we still got it done, right? it was hard to, get troops to Iraq, but George Bush and Dick Cheney found a way. Also, I won't. No, too soon on Dick Cheney. Too soon. But like that's the thing. It's just uh, if governments keep having this attitude of just it's too hard, they have this attitude because they're being funded by these tech billionaires. They are being negotiated with tech billionaires. That's how the NRA has like all these gun laws just being lax because the NRA is constantly funding the government. If we finally have a government, I'm not even just talking about American government. I think if Britain has a good government that's not funded by big corporations, I think that if Irish government just shared their ways and just got funds to artists, thank you, Ireland. I think a lot of this government is being sold out. We talk all the time about Nancy Pelosi and how big money got to her.
Oh, allegedly, I'm not fighting Nancy Pelosi at this war. Like,
I will fight Nancy Pelosi,
I'm
but
not
like,
fighting her. I saw the
like
stock traders' reactions when she was announcing her departure. Which, if you ever get plugged into the community, you can go and see what people think. With when Nancy Pelosi buys things, people are like, "Well, there's your instant buy." And I'm not saying that it's implying anything because we don't have any proof of that, but people just do point that out
but
with observation.
that's what I mean. There's too much big money
Yeah,
that's just like saying, well, it's too hard. Dude, Peter Thiel, who is one of the
PayPal's
biggest AI
founder.
yes, like
Yeah.
he is like constantly lobbying to the Trump administration. And that's why it's like, oh well, we could just the future now because they're constantly being lobbied by AI, right? But if we finally have somebody, I don't care if it's Democrat, I don't care if it's a Republican, I don't care if it's libertarian, I don't care if it's Gary Johnson again, right? We need to have some. Do you remember Gary Johnson?
I do remember Gary Johnson.
I don't care if it's Gary Johnson. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. If it's somebody who's saying we need to get big money out of government, and again, this isn't a Democrat problem, this isn't a Republican problem, this is a big money problem. This isn't even an American problem. This is a world problem. We need to get big money out because the Saudi Arabian government just bought EA. We need to get big money regulated in the world, dude. Like, but again, we need to have change in government, and I don't think we'll see that in our lifetime. But good for you, Gen Alpha. You're gonna have a better world.
It's
Congratulations.
it's very difficult as well because like even the big money as well, they own all the media essentially via from Mark Zuckerberg to Elon Musk to Jason Wang,
Yes,
Jason Wong, sorry, Wang, Jason Wong, you
Jason
know,
Wang.
Wang,
Yes,
and like just you look at the way that big tech works, even Tim Cook as well. Like they have the monopoly for doing what they need to do. It's hard because I agree with like a lot of Kate's comments as well. Like Coleman was a very fantastic person to work at Deck9, and obviously Webb. I have nothing but high praise for Webb, and I never heard anything anything negative ever about those two people as well. And I see how much it means to her, and it's like what Life is Strange meant for her and what it did for her and everything else of it. But it's very hard because I feel very conflicted with the AI comment because it's like, yeah, I agree with her completely. I wish it was the case, but I do think they can do that thing where they can strip down big parts of it. It will never maybe immediately replace things, but it keeps growing. It's scary how fast it's growing and what it can actually do. And it's like, it only needs like, you can basically cut down 5 jobs and have one person do it whilst AI does other things between it. So you're doing that kind of cost cutting scenario. And then I also, it's when she said like letting people make the games, I would agree with her if it was like basically people had autonomy to make the games at like Deck 9 and Square Enix, but like just again, like when those people are foot soldiers, man. Like they're foot soldiers. Like if they can't make the games that they want to, that's what Splinter's fan base is, because people start getting touchy with things. You saw the double exposure reaction. Like was that from the heart of Deck 9, the guys who made True Colors, for example, or Before the Storm? Was it like really like a love project with things? You kind of saw like you could see internal fighting on that game just by its first surface value. And even actually reminds me of Felice Kwan's. Do you remember Felice Kwan's comments when we covered them back in the day? And she talked about the Square Enix team
back in the day.
It was a year ago,
2 years ago.
let me just pull them up actually, because whilst we're here, and then we'll move on to the next one, and then we actually may have the bigger topic, but I'm not sure how that's going to go. Is Felice still on Twitter?
Yeah, I think the bigger topic is being covered as we're talking about this.
Probably, yeah. So as you can see there,
I'm seeing it.
putting on screen. It's for Felice's Twitter account. Where's her thread? There it was. Look, do you remember that in the tweet threads? She's put there Philip Lawrence and Izzy Gagan, who fought for us on the other side of the world, and the folks at Deck 9 that gave it all their projects. Like to specifically mention people at Deck 9, one of whom is definitely on the layoff. I don't know about Philip Lawrence. I haven't checked that. Like it kind of shows you like, that thing, and then even there where she signed off, as remember, like she signed up with Lost Records as well. It's like, it's kind of telling you of a sign of like where the things are going. Yeah, it's very hard. Like I feel for Katy as well, because like again, I know she's been like just great, and a lot of things. I have a lot of stock value in Katy. I think she's great, and just everything else. But it's just like it's so hard for kind of like, when everything's going on behind the scenes, and it's like people aren't seeing it. That's when they have that reaction.
But that's what I mean, though. I think we need to have like, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say Republicans need to stop taking money from AI. I'm gonna say that Democrats need to stop like barking at AI with no plan. They're just like chasing a car, and like, what if you catch the car? Well, I don't know. Like, we need to have some sort of regulation rather than just like taking money, just saying that like it's the future and also AI bad. You know, we need to come to compromises, because AI is a tool. But if we replace the construction workers with just hammers, like the house will never be built. Like it's just, hammers need to be in the construction workers' hands. It has to happen. It's just a matter of like, hey, dude, the hammer's not going to build the house.
I agree. Yeah, it's very hard, very hard. Okay, so we're just going to go into we're going to condense the bigger topic, which is smaller because we kind of didn't factor in time. We nicked another topic from it. Adam, just early thoughts. Maybe we'll come back to this as a fuller topic for another podcast episode, maybe next week. First, we'll come back to it next week. If nothing happens, we can use this as the main topic for next week. But I will ask you here, first reactions for what's next for Life is Strange, before maybe a deep dive the week after.
So Life is Strange is on ice. And Life is Strange was mostly, I'm going to make the argument here from what we know. And I'm not saying they took 100% of the lead, but they took a majority of the lead. That the UK studio took most of the lead on the Life is Strange franchise. The Japan office mostly was on Final Fantasy, on Dragon Quest, Square Enix. Yes. Yeah, on Octopath, like they took their lead on that, but UK mostly took their time with the Life is Strange franchise. So now with the UK studio kind of not nixing themselves, Japan is like nixing the UK office. You now have your ownership of the Life is Strange IP. You now cut off your ties with the studio that took majority of the lead on the Life is Strange franchise. Nobody's going. Let's be real here. If you sell off Life is Strange, that's I think the next part of this. I think they're going to try to sell the Life is Strange franchise, but then who buys it? Because it's not Dontnod.
Just to add to that as well, in the earnings report, they highlighted that Life is Strange TV show So they were like, this is next global expansion. It feels like they'll keep it for now before, if that happens.
And that's the thing. I said this before about Square Enix. They don't really kill franchises. They just drag them through the mud until they're just like, oh man, gross. This thing's all muddy now. Yuck. And they just kind of like toss it aside until they're disgusted with it. They were disgusted with Tomb Raider. They were disgusted with Hitman. And so they sold it off. They haven't yet been disgusted with Life is Strange. And they will just drag you through the mud. And we have to like report on it because we have to at this point. I think what's next, I think reliably so, I think the next thing we see is that Life is Strange gets sold off. But then who buys it? Because we've already discussed that Donut is not in a place to buy the Life is Strange IP. So then who buys it? Is it Deck 9? Well, Deck 9 might be closing their studio, so it's not Deck 9. Who buys it? Well, it's probably not Embracer Group, right? Is it going to be Embracer? Is it going to be maybe THQ Nordic? THQ Nordic buys it up and we get like another remaster from THQ. Like that's the thing. I think Life is Strange right now is in a worse scenario than Mass Effect because Mass Effect is, at least they said, it's on ice, and we see like, oh, Mass Effect 4 might come out and a Mass Effect TV show, but Life is Strange isn't even on ice. I think that's a worst case scenario. It's not dead and it's not on ice. I think what Life is Strange is, it's a zombie franchise right now. You're not dead and you're not alive. You are just a zombie, and we're all just like, what are we doing here? You know?
Yeah. Maybe Dead Rising-esque as well. I remember when Dead Rising came back with the remake, it was like remake, remake. Remake, whatever. Like,
it was a reimagining.
Yeah. We'll have to come back to that. But yeah, I think this will probably go into another podcast episode. I think we just ran over on time. We had to nick some other topics, and I mean, just a short, immediate term. Oh boy, there's a lot of questions to be asked here because, like, there's a lot to be asked about where they go now with this, because like in the short term, the medium term, the long term, everything is literally, again, it was like months ago on the podcast, I said everything can change. Again, I'm not some fortune teller, but like this is why I didn't say anything. Not that I could say in a lot of things, but like the other things I couldn't say anything because like this is constantly changing. This is changing by like week by week and day by day. And as you just seen with this like ambush of like news that's just come from Square Enix on its studios as well, you know, everything changes from this. Like if you're shutting Square London down, you're cutting down the American branch and you're relocalizing your IPs and putting them in different places. It means that Life is Strange is probably going to get put on ice. It's going to be put on ice for the temporary holding. Maybe you see DE2, maybe you don't. That's a big question that gets to be asked now, because Square Enix is going to, you know, basically shatter the London studio. And then at the same time, it's like, you know, are we going to put more marketing towards a game that's going to be doomed for commercial failure, which we've repeatedly said as well, that that's the big thing with it. The one thing I could probably say just off like just ideas and stuff, if you're laying off the London team, for example, and you're making DE2 and you're going to release it, you're obviously going to get them to film the stuff before it and do all of the marketing and stuff, and then you just roll it out. But again, are you willing to take another hit, which will then appear in your financial
marketing
earnings
for it?
Well, yeah, the marketing as well. Yeah, that's well, they get the AI to
Amazon's going to take. Wait, is it Amazon? Yeah, it's Prime. It's Prime. Like Amazon's going to take most of the load of like marketing this franchise, and Square Enix is going to be like, okay, you do your thing. We're going to just sit back and relax, taking the big bucks.
Well, we'll be Lucky Chap and thingy Story Kitchen as well for the TV show they'll be doing as well. But like the one thing I don't get as well, like that TV show could be a tester for them to see whether this IP is still strong enough, whether it can attract a new audience, whether they want to make more games from it. Because the other thing I will argue this as well. I think they're well out of the time frame for making this TV show, because again, fandoms aren't that massive as they used to be. Like Wednesday has a following, and so does Stranger Things and stuff. I think Stranger Things is probably the last major quote unquote. I think, you know, shows have fandoms, but nowhere near as big. Like even The Walking Dead, for example.
Yeah, because I was going to say like a major. We're not talking about like, before you get in the comments like, oh, there's big fandoms in here. Like we're talking about like mainstream fandoms like Walking Dead, Lost, which
Simpsons,
thank you for
South Park.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lost fan put in the comments that like, oh no, he corrected saying like when did you first say like, hey, I'm gonna watch this show because he's older, not younger. So thank you for that. Because I was just like, how did you not discover it in the 2000s? It was slapped in your face like Walking Dead. But what I'm saying is, it's like, yeah, major, because you have the fandom of there's an animated show, and it's like the majority of the color is like red. I can't remember the name of the show.
Oh.
Shoot. But like there's like a huge fandom in like animation shows.
Yeah.
I would even say that Steven Universe had their like cult following as well. But we're talking about like mainstream, like like Stranger Things, like Halo, like Star Wars, like Simpsons, like
Prison Break, anything that was major, Friends, anything that had like a major impact. Was
Friends, I would say, not Prison Break. Prison Break was also a cult following. Not like Friends was. Friends, you made a person like Gilmore Girls. You know, like we're talking about like
Star Wars.
Major Star Wars, yeah. Like that's the thing. It's like we don't have that anymore.
No.
So it's kind of hard to build off of any momentum from that. You know, Fortnite, I would say it's not even a fandom, right? I think it's just a following. I think they have a following, but not a fandom. Like, like I don't know. It's wild to me.
Fandoms, when it spawns into those old extra things like the merchandise and like Star Wars, and it galvanizes everything. Like there's some obviously larger than life versions. Like I could probably say Pokemon's probably one of the biggest last fandoms that was existed. But like when we buy fandoms, it means like within a TV show it becomes like, or a game, it becomes like a cult following. It becomes like a way of life. Like Halo was a way of life for people. Like it was beyond just a game. It became like a way of life for like the way people like acted. And it's like you sit there with, for example, Life is Strange, and especially with TV shows. Even some TV shows had that at the birth of Netflix, with like Netflix kind of like really starting to ramp up. Most TV shows don't really have that anymore, you know? Look how many TV shows that have been produced in the last 10 years. Ring of Powers from like Amazon, and then the same with like XYZ show from Amazon, from, you know, Netflix. How many really stand out where you kind of sit there talking about them from like that day till now? Maybe Game of Thrones, but again, Game of Thrones obliterated itself.
Sorry, the animated show that I was talking about is Has Been Hotel.
Right.
Yeah, that one has a very massive following, but even then, it's a cult following, not in the way of like Stranger Things, right?
It's not like Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not like Pokemon. It's not like anything that's major where you galvanize people. I'm saying like in the sense that with TV shows, there's very few that have been able to captivate people. It's like nowadays, like I remember when 13 Reasons Why was released, like in the 2010s, and people watched it. They were starving off that kind of show because like teen drama and all that other stuff. And you've had like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and stuff like that with like Emma Myers and stuff, but it's not galvanated in a way where it's like transcended and revived the entire thing. Like
it wasn't Game of Thrones. You know? Like, we don't have that anymore. We just have small little snippets, and then Netflix doesn't allow a show to grow into like something else. I just watched from Nerdstalgic why season 4 of The Simpsons was the perfect season. And then he just listed off episodes, and I was like, oh my God, that was all season 4. The monorail, Marge Gets a Job, where Bart was like trying to grow up to be like an adult, and like he's not trying to be a kid anymore, with the babysitter. What was that? Krusty Gets Canceled. No. Oh wait, yes. Camp Krusty was also in it. Krusty Gets Canceled was in season 4.
Yeah.
My point is that, like, but that was season 4.
Yeah.
Like the previous ones were just it grew to the momentum of what season 4 was, and we got the monorail in season 4. But very rarely do we get shows that go past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
It doesn't grow to be like a major franchise, right? Game of Thrones in its first season, like there was a following, but I would even argue that season 3, like people were like nuts about it. So we're not giving franchises a chance.
And that imploded. Like they did House Dragons. Not many people talk about. They're making a Game of Thrones game. And it's like it exists as an IP, but so many people got soured by the way the TV show ended. It hadn't. That was brand damaging IP on Game of Thrones. In the same way with Life is Strange. Like Life is Strange is now really ultra niche, and the way it's telling stories and the ideas and stuff. Even the first Life is Strange, I don't know if that's a Gen Z story. I don't know if Gen Z is going to get captivized by that unless they can bring in stars and bring in some kind of mainstream appeal. I don't know if the first Life is Strange resonates with Gen Z as it does with millennials by a guy who was millennial. He's millennial, isn't he?
Who
It'll
is?
be late.
Michelle?
Yeah, he'll be late
Michelle's
millennial. Is he
like
Gen
he's
X? Young Gen X?
yeah, if he's anything, he's elder millennial, but he's closer to Gen X than anything else.
How old do you think Michelle is?
He's older than us. He's in his 40s. So like, but that's the thing though. Like, Lost Records was the Gen X
So
crowd. Like that, yeah, because they
millennial
were
will be
teenagers.
because millennial will be 1980 to 19. Well, let's say it's 1995 usually or 1997, but like I think he's maybe at the beginning of millennial or he's bleeding into Gen X, late Gen X. That's where I'm at. Because if Luke's 40, is he's in his 40s, isn't he? Mid 40s. I think Luke is a millennial.
Even Life is Strange fandom.com, they just have his birthday, November 20th, but like no year. He is an enigma of time and space.
That's what he
He
is.
just came to be. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that they're I'm pretty sure he's Gen X. Yes.
Ooh, I don't know. But wouldn't Luke be millennial then?
No, I think they're both Gen X.
Well, Luke's
They're
like
on the
45, isn't he?
yeah, it's Gen
44,
X.
45.
Hmm?
Wait, no, because if it's 40, wait, that'd take you into the 1980s.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
like
millennials.
that's the thing. But like I would argue that if you were a teenager in the 90s, you're Gen X. But we were 90s babies. You know, our time was the 2000s. Like we were teenagers in the 2000s. So I
But
think it takes place.
But
Yeah.
the early 2000s is Gen Z, though. That's what they class as Gen Z. They count it from like 97 to 2000, and I think it's
Yeah, but they're
2011 or something like that.
babies in that time. They don't really remember the 2000s. They're especially Kevin. Both Kevins. They're the scum of the planet. They don't remember the 2000s like we do. You know.
See, I would argue though that I think
Kevin asked me to like rail on him in the last episode, so I'm going to come back to it.
See, I think the millennial things as well. I think it bleeds over because our generation kept bleeding over in terms of the cultural influence. I think we're like 1985 to 2010 in terms of our media that we created. I think that's where we run up to. But I think he might. Okay, whatever. We're with Michelle as it is, right? But I think
Michelle and Luke, you're obviously watching this. We all know that you're old farts, but like put it in the comments down below. Like, how old of a fart are you? Are you just like a little squeaker of a fart, or you are just like a massive like cloud of a fart? Put it in the comments down below.
Well, yeah. But I feel like in itself, that kind of shit, I just wonder, I don't know if that's going to be able to galvanize. Maybe I'm proven wrong, but I don't think it's going to get that same push as it once would have done. As I said, like 10 years ago, they released this TV show, maybe 8 years ago. It would have been massive. It probably would have grown the franchise even more. They came to it too late. They've done that thing again, marketing, everything else. You come to something when it's too late. When it's red hot, you grab it. You get 15 minutes of fame. If I went viral right now, I would milk every single second of it to make money from it because it's 15 minutes of fame. You have to run off that. And it's the same with like even the games and some of the other things as well. You have to run off that. Ultimately, I don't know where this conversation ended up to and where my overarching point was. I think we're off too many circles. We will come back to this in another episode because I think unless something else happens next week, heaven forbid, as things are going, we'll kind of focus more on a topic because I think there's a lot of things that are going on here, including the play tests, the next DE game, whatever happens with Deck 9, all this stuff has to come into play. So I think we'll focus on a bigger topic next week. It's just we had to cut things. I didn't think a lot of things happened and a lot of it was AI and heavy episode with a lot of things. So we'll wrap up there. We've got comment on the podcast, we've got spread the arts, and then we'll finish up here. So I want to kind of get these in as well. So Adam, spread the arts. Spread the arts. Comment the podcast. First comment, Red Fate YT from episode 118. I've taken it from episode 118 because episode 119 side B isn't out yet. So apologies about that. This was a comment from Red Fate. Regarding Lost Records and even their rest of projects in general, they really need to start marketing seriously. In Spain, we have a saying, what a good vassal for such a bad lord. And I'm not going to pronounce that as Spanish. Thank you for that.
Que buen vasallo para tan mal señor.
You sound like one of those Resident Evil villagers there when you're saying that.
Thank you. I guess. I don't know. I have a very bad Spanish accent. So whenever I speak Spanish, I just sound like a white guy with a taco night at his, his white family's taco night, where it's just tortillas, ground beef, and sour cream.
There you go. Just sometimes bad accent. But in this case, what a great game for such a bad marketing. because we're talking about the minimum. It's impossible that there are diehard fans of the first Life is Silence, Life is Strange, who know that Lost Records exists. Not that they haven't played it yet, they are simply unaware of its existence. And when some of them have played it, they've loved it. Like several of my friends, for example, we also talk about the fact they haven't done any marketing during Pride Month or Spooky Season. Hopefully, this agreement with Don't Nod will not only provide Don't Nod with financial relief, but also allow them to focus on the marketing problem and also provide visibility to their works. To end on a lighter note, I know the new project will be Stranger Things game, but I fantasize about a narrative Witcher game, not with Netflix canon, but with one of the books. I know it's impossible. Let me dream. Thank you for the podcast in light of a difficult situation like the current one. Well, I hope we bring you a lot of solace there.
On a side note of that Witcher one, it's not a bad idea because it is another major Netflix thing, but I don't know if that's like, again, I'm trying.
CD Projekt Red that owns it, so like they would have the overarching say.
Yeah. But like, I'm just saying, like, from a marketing and like branding of just like, you put out Lost Records, and it's very much similar to Stranger Things. So it's like, it's a good brand marketing of just like a partnership here. I'm not saying that Wednesday isn't even possible. I'm not even saying that like, somebody pointed out, what was the one show they pointed out? It only lasted a season, like, Squid Game too. That's also a possibility. But I'm thinking of it lasted one season. Like I Can't Stand It Here or something like that. I forget. It was a really good show.
It's a
It was very
major
like
IP. They said it's major IP.
It's major. I think it's Stranger Things just because the IP matches with the studio, and it's a major IP. And like a lot of people were saying that like there's a new animated prequel that's coming out, so they're trying to get the hype up.
Worked on Netflix. He's got style for it. You know, Juliet's got style for making all kinds of crazy Stranger Things characters. It
just matches too much, you know?
Yeah, and for me, it feels like they could set it up for like a spin-off that they do from Netflix. I don't think Netflix is done with this project. I feel like they want to make more from it, and they could spin off.
They announced it.
Oh, did
That's
they?
what
Well, there
saying.
you go. Okay, never mind. Yeah,
they were saying in the comments that there was a spin-off that's already announced. It's an animated spin-off that takes place between season 2 and 3.
Yeah, they'll do something within the Stranger Things realm of universe. It all makes sense. Everything you said in that comment was what I've felt, said as well, and done as well before. With like in terms of Don't Know, like that's the thing for me with Oscar Gilbert, and they've done that entire reorganization of Don't Know. Marketing, change the marketing. That's your strategy. It's not about positioning these studios with splinter names and everything else. Your marketing is now fundamental. Your marketing has to be refocused on it. And I keep saying that there's some places that I do it. Like again, Lucy Hale's an example of that at Square Enix. Whatever she does on the TikTok, the numbers deliver. You can't argue against what she does on that. And it's the same with Olivia and the Low Birth team. Again, the numbers deliver on TikTok. They know how to crack algorithms. They know how to get their game in front of that. Again, with Pride Month, they put the game on sale in Pride Month. They didn't actually do any marketing around it. Even with for Tell Me Why gets more market exposure because they give it away for free every year on Pride Month. Didn't do anything with that. Even again, as you said, Halloween, I would have put the video of Swan coming out with a flashlight as a kind of a joking thing on TikTok, just because she is very introverted and it plays into the Halloween theme. Didn't do that again. Like again, it's resources, the management and stuff like that. And when Marin is left with one other person, I don't know, Montreal doing the marketing on that side, and then you have Paris doing its own thing. Their marketing doesn't crack through things. They don't get that. Even at Abby's house.
We're not putting this completely on Marin, but you have your publisher, Don't Nod, not even like coming in, just like making assistance here. So it's like, it's all about marketing. And like I said, with Halo, like the marketing push on Halo 3, I'm not trying to say like be that big, but like it is all about getting in people's faces and just like being relentless with it. Like that's what it is. Like I hate marketing myself. I hate it. Like in terms of like, but there's a reason why I was at the indie game showcase and I was showcasing 3 games because I go out, I hand my business card, I am relentless. So there's a reason. Like you have to put yourself out there. Yeah,
you have to. Abby did it when she made a music video. She spent like a lot of money on it, and she told me why. She's like, "Yeah, well, you have to because you have to make this as like put on TikTok and all these other places." I'm like, actually, fair enough. That makes a lot of sense why you do that. And same with that TikTok. Like I saw Don't Nod's one where they were putting Lonesome Guild clips out. Someone even suggested in the comments like, "Why don't you put hashtags here?" Just kind of like because no one's searching for Lonesome Guild. So put things
Lonesome
that I like.
Guild is put in my face all the time, dude. Like it's actually like really impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like you need to get the hashtags, you need to get like people who are social media savvy in this day and age, and to kind of like get them with that, you know. And even with Lost Records, like that ethereal dance is like gold mine 101 for it. I think again, Lucy Hale did it with Life is Strange TikTok. She used the Jet 2 theme as well in one of the videos. It's like she knows that kind of thing that is going to travel. That's already a viral sound that's going to carry with something else. So you kind of just need to like really capitalize on it. Again, yeah, I agree with the comment. I completely agree. It's a lot of that thing. I think it's not a Marin when I say that. I said like he's just his resources are there. He's like one limited person in a cog of machine with a new IP, and it's so hard to sell something new to someone. Look how many energy drinks that get on the market, and everyone goes buy Coke. That's
Yeah.
that's what the day and age is. Has anyone toppled Monopoly? Toppled McDonald's? No. McDonald's is the staple. It's the gold mine. It is the company that is always going to be there. It is their iconic. That M is iconic. It takes years to build something that like that. I just said that YMCA. That's like, what's going on there? But yeah, great comment though. Fully agree, and thank you for the kind words as
100%.
well. Adam, next comment as well at JW Ethan from episode 119, side A. My Life is Strange rankings places the original Life is Strange first, followed by True Colors, Double Exposure, and then Life is Strange 2 with Before the Storm firmly in last place. The latter is the only installment I outright dislike. I often flip-flop on my thoughts regarding Rachel Amber's story. Part of me believes it would have been more powerful had it been left entirely unexplored, but the other way argues it should have been explored through it in a much darker and a more effective way. It should have been absolutely devastatingly bleak in a distinctively Lynchian style, which ultimately it was not. That kind of bleeds into the topic of the Rachel Amber episode we did as well, where Kevin Lackner asked about it as well.
That's a hot take, dude. It's a hot take.
Which one? The first part or the second part? The rankings on the
all the parts, man. It's spicy,
Okay.
but like that's a dude. They put Double Exposure in the middle at number
That's a hot
3.
take. Yeah.
That's a hot take, dude. It's a hot take. Man. I mean, that's the thing. It's spicy, but I like spicy food.
See,
you know?
I wonder if the spiciness of Before the Storm has pushed that Double Exposure ranking up, because it sounds like that second part laces
Yeah,
Double
but, like
Exposure moving up the charts.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's a hot take, but it's explained. Like, it's just like it is well explained.
Yeah.
It is a spicy dish, but it's spicy with like a well done chef. Like that
Yeah.
is, I can't disagree.
Oh, it's
with this ranking.
it is a dish with the seeds left in the chili. They've like
It's
sprinkled
just-
those in. That's a great comment.
that's nuts.
That second
Yeah.
part of that comment really hits me with Rachel Amber. I fully agree with a lot of
Oof.
that. It's like I really like Rachel Amber in Before Storm, and we got Kylie Brown because of it and all the other stuff. But I also would want Rachel Amber to be that really devastating, bleak enigma character. You know, where it has like elements of Carrie from Fusion of that, and all these other tragic heartbreaks and stuff. And it's just basically, yeah, because it kind of reminds, yeah, it kind of reminds me of like, it'll be like the opposite of Mary Jane Watson, where it's like the girl next door, but also it ends in tragedy with everything else in between it. Yeah, very interesting comment. That is a very spicy hot take, though. I like that though. On that
Get
and
the milk out.
the seeds are on there. So yeah, very very good comment though. A lot to be dissected in that, but we're going to kind of head towards the finish line, because again, I think we went well overboard in terms of the time and stuff. There was a lot of ranting and stuff. So spread the R's, Adam. Are we spreading something? What are you spreading aside from your thighs?
Besides my thighs, man, there's a lot I can do. I mean, I've been watching Stranger Things, of course. But in that, you know, like I'm rewatching Stranger Things, and like season 2 especially, I'm just like, man, I haven't listened to like a good thrash metal album in a while.
Ooh.
And like that's the thing. So I got my CDs out, and I'm not saying like all the lyrics transcend into there's some things that are just like, oh man, Gen Z would be like, well, hang on, can I hear that back again, especially the track Indians. But man, Anthrax is Among the Living, dude. Like Stranger Things got me back into thrash metal. I'm like, I haven't listened to a proper thrash metal album in a very long time, and I'm just like, bring it out. Let's take it out. So I was making my veggie curry, my plant-based curry, and like listening to this the entire time I was cooking. Man, I miss these days. I miss these days. There's not good thrash metal anymore, man.
No,
there's not good thrash.
There
Yeah.
isn't.
Shout out again to the Loudness Wars with Metallica's The Black Album, which destroyed mastering for a lot of people. But yeah, no, Anthrax.
Anthrax is the real one, man. Like they don't make them like that. They don't make them like Def Leppard, not Def Leppard. What's called Iron Maiden and Metallica and Slipknot and stuff like that. They just announced download festivals line up as well. I'd never go now, but it's like, you know, Linkin Park's on the headline. People like, I'm like, really? I'm like, is this really what like thingy was? I was there. I always send Adam Bullet for my Valentine clips where it's like Tears Don't Fall and it's just like a duck standing in the rain, and it's like that's where my energy's at. Those are the days, man. Those are the days.
Dude. That's what I mean. They don't make them like they used to, man. No, it's crazy.
Anthrax was something else.
Once Sabrina Carpenter comes out with a thrash metal album, let's do it.
Yeah. She's gonna full arc.
Yeah, we gotta get a thrash metal Sabrina Carpenter album. It's gotta happen at some point.
She would be like who's it? Is he Lizzie Hale? The Hailstorm singer. Lizzie Hale?
Dude, I remember when I was around with Hailstorm as an opening band in Philly. Like that's the craziest part. Like I remember them as like they opened for a lot of bands around Philadelphia. I don't know if they're from Philly, but they're from the East Coast. And now they're like headliners. They're a big band. So like it's kind of crazy like see them from that to like major. So good for Hailstorm. Great for it. The best question I remember I remember when like the very first show I would see them as an opener, and this is when they were like getting really large and in charge. Like one of the first shows they were coming out, and was it Lindsay Hale? I can't remember her name, but she was in the darkness and like all the lights were shut off, and fog came out, and she like belted Lizzie Hale just belted lyrics. There was no instruments yet, just like like she was just like making it flow with her voice. Phenomenal show, dude. Yeah. Oh my God. It's such a great show. So anyways, Hailstorm, another great band.
Great band. I love one of because I have a big thing for Evanescence as well. And the best line I ever got told by a girl, she's like, how are you feeling today on a scale of my immortal to bring me to life? And I was like, that's the best. It stuck with me for my entire life. It was like the best question. She like just sat down and she said it for me. She's like, how are you feeling on the scale? I was like, I think I'm in love. I think I'm in love here. It's like, that's the best question I've ever been asked. It's like, and how you phrased it as well. But those are, oh my God, it's just gone. But speaking of which, that kind of bleeds into my Spread the R's because it's actually been here the entire time. You can go back and watch side 8 and it has been here the entire time. You just missed it. I was showing Adam before podcast because here we go. Mother is mothering. That's what it is. Here's my Gen Z. Mate, I told Abby that she couldn't stop laughing. She was genuinely in tears doing that. I said it in front of her, but Mother is mothering. This is Hayley Williams' new album on vinyl. This is Ego at the Bachelorette Party. At Bachelorette Party. Why should not put there in it? She's not put there in it. At a Bachelorette Party. Sorry, a Bachelorette Party. This is amazing. Oh my God, this has been nominated for Grammys as well. She's up for multiple Grammys.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, absolutely good.
Thoroughly deserved. This is one of the best albums. I will say this. I haven't asked him as well. Do you know who's a big fan of this?
Who?
He is on the next episode of the Lost Records Journal.
Oh, really? Samus?
Yes. Oh, yeah. And I was like, sir, like, why don't you just mention that while on the podcast whilst I have my massive obsession with Hayley Williams? It's like you could have said that.
Oh man.
Big fan. I also think Kathy Vincelli is a big fan of Hayley Williams.
That wouldn't surprise me. That doesn't shock me.
Oh, she sees that. She did do a charity stream as well. Yesterday I was watching it. It was very thinking she's very funny as well. Now there's a guest we need on the podcast.
Yes,
and we need
absolutely.
We also need to get to the scenario of like why she was putting a signature on the foot. That was like all on that inside that vinyl. But no, this is one of the special editions of the vinyl. I didn't get the other one. People had bought it already. It's being sold on eBay. It's heartbreaking. But this vinyl, and I've run Adam for it. It looks amazing. The quality is amazing. And also, when I say Mother is mothering, oh yes, Mother is mothering. Because if you look inside, we are truly in the golden era of like Hayley Williams just being, is the word feral right? Or just Hayley Williams? Like, I think like we're in that process.
Did Did you happen to see the interview with her and Jack Antonoff talking
Oh
about
yeah.
being? That was quite entertaining. Yeah, they're both like just pissed about the music industry in general.
Yeah, do you know what as well? It's funny because I was watching a TikTok before it came on, and Cassidy Pope, the former Hey Monday singer, was talking TikTok, and
Yes.
she was talking about her previous experience with managers, and she's basically saying that she got shamed as well, SLUT shamed as well, because she started dating one of her members of a band, and the managers
Mm,
like were like, "Oh yeah, because she's the golden goose, we can't like let this be ruined." And she basically said like she was 16, 17, and she was kind of basically like, you know, being told that she couldn't be like just a normal girl. And it's the same with Hayley Williams. I give like I've seen people take swipes at her for, you know, her previous marriage and stuff, but like this girl got too much exposure
yeah.
at a very young age, and it hits you hard. Like that's one thing I would say. Like I would sooner have money than never fame, because like her life, for example, she is one of the icons of pop punk, rock, everything else of it, and we all know her from that. But like her life has always been in the limelight. She's never lived like quote unquote a normal life, probably until more recently. Um,
Yeah.
and that's also crazy because like one thing you have to think as well, like you can go down to the store and get a Starbucks and no one bothers you,
Yes.
but she couldn't do that. Taylor Swift couldn't do that. Taylor Swift could never do that. Think about her life, for example. I would say this to people, like, think about Taylor Swift's life. All the money in the world, yet you can't go down the street to get a Starbucks
Yeah.
without someone hounding you. And it's been shown time and time again. There's a big video on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's an experiment with Cristiano Ronaldo, the soccer player or the football player.
Yes.
And he sits down in a cafe and they're filming him, and it's like he just sits there, have a coffee. It's like how many people interrupt him whilst he's doing it. I swear it's like over 50 or something more than this. And this was like 10 years ago when he was at Real Madrid. It was just like he'd
Oh my
finished
God.
Manchester
Yeah.
United, and it was literally, and it was like constant. He has a sip, and it's like people want a selfie, and it's like that's your life. So I have a lot of thing with her when she does interviews. It's really nice to hear her because I think she has a lot of baggage in a respectful way where she needs to talk about it, and you see it in the albums as well. This
Yeah.
this album is like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I've
100%.
been waiting. I've been Adnan from 20 years ago when he was in his late
Yeah.
in his teens, or in the 2000s actually. Sorry, a better way of putting it. When he's in the 2000s, was dreaming for this kind of album. It's feral, but all feral in the right way. So um,
Yes.
I told you. I'm heartbroken. This is just the last of the solo run for now. I think, as she's hinted at. So it's like
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. She
she's
did hint it.
yeah. She
Yeah.
said she wants to
Yeah.
be in bands and stuff like that. I'm like, come on, Haley. Like, you know, this is the golden age of like music for you. This kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, Logic said that he was going to retire, and now, like, since the retirement, he has 4 albums out, and now a small movie coming out, which I did pre-order
Yeah.
the small video. So yeah, no, they're always going to be like that.
And yeah, and also as well, before we wrap up as well, this was pretty cheap for a vinyl. This was £30 that I bought it for, which was
Oh,
one of the special
yeah,
edition ones. This was the UK
that's
version. You
crazy.
can buy it in the US. So she's like set her own storefront up for it. This is the UK version. I cannot remember where I was up to there. I had caught the we've been recording for so long that that headphone that I had in this my AirPod has
Yeah,
died. So either way, I'm gonna leave my Hayley Williams thing here for the time being. It has been here the entire time. Very excited to listen to it when I get a chance. So yeah, wrap up here. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for joining us. A big shout out to our Patreon subscribers as well. So we have Kevin Lackner, Sunday, Clare McLoughlin, Jake, Carly, Goldberry, Kevin Kestis, Clarx, MrAnselmi, Spunger, Lost Pan, Paul Groschke, and Xavier. So thank you so much for being on the Patreon. It is deeply appreciated. Apologies, we had to change the episode around a bit. We cut a topic out, which was, I think Adam said was very spicy off the record, off the topic. And also the main topic was kind of a bit slashed down, but I think we will probably come back to that next week when we record properly, because I think there's a lot to be said, barring obviously, yeah, maybe hopefully nothing major happens in between that. But yeah, we'll sign off here.
yeah,
So thank you to the Patreon subscribers. Let us know your thoughts in the comments about any of the topics. It'll be greatly appreciated to hear that as well. And we'll sign off here. So thank you for joining us. If you are new here, one more time, please do consider dropping subscribe on the channel, turn notifications, like the video, share with your friends. And the StrangeCast is available on all podcast services. So check us out on Spotify with a video version, Apple Podcasts. Go and check us out on there. Go and rate us, go and download us. It helps support us. Yeah, apologies for the longer, inconvenient episode. So hopefully this episode comes out in the week that we've filmed, because we've recorded on the 9th of November. Hopefully Sam Bradley's first part of the interview comes out this week. But yeah, stay tuned. A lot more things coming. Hopefully we'll have more things to add to the Patreon tiers. And again, thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. Well, until next time, see you later, guys. Bye.
later.
Ready for the mosh pit, shaka bra.